Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ingram Micro Cloud Partner Briefing, Scale with AWS Public Sector Cloud Solutions. Our presenters today are Lisa Varela-Schutz, Practice Lead and Public Sector Cloud Manager, and Tad Davis, Partner Transformation Lead, Global Public Sector. I'm Jody Jepson, your Senior Professional Marketing Account Manager, as your moderator. During the briefing, Lisa and Tad will share how to get started in the public sector, covering the prerequisites for eligibility and how to obtain your public sector reseller's authorization. They'll cover the benefits of becoming a public sector reseller, and they will conclude with reviewing the AWS Services Path accreditations and certifications. But before we begin, I would like to share a few housekeeping notes. Everyone on the call is muted by default. Please use the chat to submit your questions and comments. We'll be addressing questions at the end of the presentation. The webinar is being recorded today and it will be shared out when it concludes. Without further ado, please allow me to introduce Lisa Varela-Schutz.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Lisa Varela-Schutz, and I'm the Practice Lead and Sales Manager for our Public Sector IS team. And so today I want to share with you a little bit about how do we get into the public sector space with AWS. On this first slide, you're going to see Public Sector Partner Program. You might have heard of it as the PSP program. So you might have heard about it as the PSP program. And what that really means, and you'll hear it all the time, is that in order to get into the public sector space for AWS, you have to meet certain requirements. So there are some prerequisites for eligibility into the public sector program. But what this allows you to do is have access to the APN. It allows you to have access to the partner public sector pathway programs that they have available for you. And then the big piece of it is that they allow you to connect to other partners. And then finally, once you do get into the public sector program, it allows for you to receive an AWS competency, and you can get it in storage or backup or DevOps, but you can also get one in education and government, which allows you to be able to get more margin as you're trying to close some of these opportunities. Next slide, please. So to get into the PSP program, you do have to be a select tier partner. So if you're registered, you move from registered to select. And the requirements to be select are you have to pay the fee, which is $25 a year. You have to have 2 business pros, 2 technical pros. You have to have some foundational certs and then some technical certs, 2 and 2. There is some experience required, so you need 3 opportunities and then a customer success reference. So what I'll tell you about the hardest thing to get to select is going to be your 3 opportunities. But that's where we can help you fill the gap and we can help you achieve those opportunities. You'll need the 2 public sector references in the past 24 months, and they don't have to be AWS specific. So if you are in the public sector space, this is where this will be easy to obtain, because it could be a school, it could be a government agency, it can be a federal agency, healthcare, nonprofit. And then you're going to be required to have 2 AWS certifications at associate level, and then a public sector practice web page. And this is important because you want your customers to look at your web page and right out of the gate say that you're in the public sector space. And we can help you with a web page to identify as a public sector partner. Next slide. So for your public sector authorization, it's really not that difficult. This is probably the easiest part of being public sector authorized. You have to go online. It's an online process, and you will get there when you are select status. So once you're select status, I always say that your button gets lit up and you push, you'll see that it's lit, it's not gray, so that you can start filling out the application. Once you fill out the application, that'll go to AWS. AWS will do an audit on it. They'll make sure that you're in the public sector business. It usually takes about 30 days. It could be a little bit shorter. And then they will let you know that you are now in the PSP program, and this is for services only at the moment. And I'll talk about the PSA authorization. But they will identify or let you know that you have made the PSP authorization and that you can now move to a PSA authorization, which we'll talk about in the next slide. Next slide, thanks. So once you've filled out your PSP and it's an online form, you let us know, because they do not let us know. It's AWS and you. They'll tell you that you guys have passed, and then you can come and let us know that you now are PSP authorized. Once that happens, what we'll do is we will provide you with a PSA reseller authorization. And what this allows you to do is to do consumption sales with your end customer. This will allow you to do any nonprofits, healthcare, government, education, state and local government. That process is a little bit more encumbering, but you can definitely walk through it with us and we can make sure that you fill it out correctly. Next slide. So here's an example of the public sector authorization form. This is a form that I think is kind of cumbersome, but it really isn't. At the end of the day, we'll help you fill it out. We'll provide you with as much information as we can so that you are filling it out correctly, and then you give it back to us. We will submit it to AWS on your behalf, and that usually takes about 5 to 7 weeks, depending on what their backlog is. But this is where you will tell us all about what you're doing in the public sector space and sell yourself to AWS so that we can get it approved for you. Next slide. So once you are into the public sector program and you have your PSP authorization and your PSA authorization, then we can talk about some of the programs that you will be able to access so that you can help drive your business. We're going to talk about a program that we've developed called the Contracts Alliance Program. We're going to talk about the Healthcare Pathway Partner Program. There's two programs that AWS has that I really like. It's Think Big for Small Business and the Newbie program. And then there's a new program that we just recently launched, which is our Accelerated Development Program. Next slide. So what is the Contracts Alliance Program? So this is a program that we've developed specifically for our partners who need a path to closing their business or their opportunity faster. The Contracts Alliance Program allows you to use contracts and team with another partner so that you can actually close your opportunities today versus an RFP process or a bid process. The way that it works is we team you up with another partner of ours. Our partner in this program today is Strategic Communications. She's a woman-owned, minority-owned 8A company. She's authorized for cloud sales, and she has contracts that you can access in either a teaming agreement model or an agent model. And really what that means is that you would connect with her to understand what contracts she has. And for example, she's got the NASPO, she's got the Texas DIR, she's got a GSA, but you would be able to use those in either an agent agreement or teaming agreement, whichever best suits you at the time. And either one can be worked depending on what the customer wants to do. There are administrative fees if it's a services only opportunity, but if it's an AWS consumption deal, we will cover that fee for you. And we will also provide you with an opportunity to use the other contracts in our program, like our NCPA contract, and we also have been recently authorized for the AWS GSA schedule. So in the Contracts Alliance program, really the net of it is that you have contracts to help you close your business today. And our capture support manager is Heather Grimsley. You'll get this slide and you can reach out to her with any additional questions. Next slide. So we have another program that we're really excited about that we launched about a year ago. It's called the Healthcare Pathway Program. And really what it provides is cloud solutions in the healthcare market. We're talking about EMR hosting, PHI compliancy and indemnification, HIPAA compliance and consulting. This is another program where we are working with other partners to provide you with these particular services. So if you're in the healthcare space, we will connect you with our partners, and we have a couple partners in the ecosystem, whether it's EMR hosting or HIPAA compliance. If you are interested in our healthcare pathway program, we have a subject matter expert. His name is Mike Clark, and we're happy to get you in touch with him as well. Next slide. So the two programs that AWS has launched that I really think are awesome programs for the public sector, for state and local government and education, is the Think Big for Small Business and the Newbie program. So the Think Big for Small Business program allows partners who might not be able to get to select tier or have a small bench. Think Big for Small Business allows you to act as a select tier partner while you're trying to get there. The qualifications for that is that you have to be a small business and 150 employees or less. The program really does help you get to select tier status in 6 months, where then you can transact. And if you want to move to advanced tier, you can do that as well. In the Newbie program, I like this program because every new opportunity that you get, you will get the benefits of an additional 5% discount, which stacks on top of your other discounts. So if you have a new opportunity in the public sector space, you can add that on to your current margins as they sit today. Next slide, please. So a program that we just recently announced is called the Public Sector Accelerated Development Program. And really it's by invitation only, it's fast tracked, high quality, and it's trying to get our partners go-to-market ready faster, like 4 to 6 months versus 18 to 24 months. And what it does for you, it gets you into the APM. It helps you understand all the nuances of how to get into the public sector space by providing you with APM alignment, e-learning, ACE enablement. It'll provide you with technical validation, like the well-architected review, foundational technical review. And then you will be able to understand what the procurement paths are, the ones that we have, but also the way AWS is focused on them as well, and then introduce you to their capture team. And then we will have a go-to-market readiness campaign for you so that you can understand the marketplace and ACE eligibility and a lot of the marketing campaigns that we have. Next slide. So as you can see that we had one for the software path, we also have one for the AWS services path. And really it's identical, it's just focused on services, right? So the difference between this one and the last one is that cloud enablement engine, right? So we're going to provide workshops and we're going to help you have ownership, but you'll still do the technical validations like service delivery and competencies. And then you will have technical validations that we will walk you through. And then again, we will walk you through the procurement path, the e-learning, and help you with marketing and account planning. So again, this is a 4 to 6 month journey versus an 18 to 24 month typical journey. And we will help you get there sooner so that you can start transacting business. Next slide. So on all these programs that we presented earlier, we are here to help you. I have a team that can help deliver and walk you through all these particular programs. If you want to reach out to me, I will help you. There's one in each region. And then we also have subject matter experts for state and local, education, and government. Thank you for your time today, and I will pass this on to Tad.
Hey, thanks, Lisa. Appreciate it. Good day, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day. Want to talk about some custom differentiated services on AWS. First, being able to develop your cloud practice. It's an important journey that you start off with by working on how to develop, how to build your reference architectures. Then you want to be able to very much do like we were talking about before. We were talking about the healthcare and providing particular solutions that are out there. You want to be able to create solutions that help accelerate your time to value. And then even more along that healthcare vertical, when we look at step number 3 here, build something that helps accelerate your workloads in that particular vertical. Sorry, the next thing is being able to create recurring managed services around monitoring governance, compliance, and security, and then being able to develop specialized skills around Microsoft workloads, DevOps automation, any types of databases or data engineering, real-time analytics based on incoming data, and then being able to do this through SaaS apps as well. Ingram Micro has a great cost optimization program that we do for AWS reserved instances. So we'd be able to provide and maximize the cost that's being incurred by your customers and by you for reserved instances. Reserved instances are 1 year or 3 year commitments to dedicated types of EC2 instances. And this program helps provide a higher rate of cost savings than what your traditional on-demand purchase would be for these EC2 instances. We also provide monthly reporting to partners showing the cost savings achieved. We'll issue quarterly credits to a partner for their share of the reserved instances benefits. And then qualified accounts to be in this program, they must have over $25,000 of EC2 monthly spend. Participating accounts can also have access to, will provide, a read-only role into their AWS account to be able to view the cost and usage report or the curve. So one of the things that I want to dial back into here that was mentioned earlier was we talked about some of the knowledge, some of the experience accreditations and certifications when you're moving to the select tier. Why is select tier important? We talked about that. You want to be at the select tier before you can apply to the public sector partner program. When we talk about certifications, this is a list of the different certifications that AWS has, from the foundational cloud practitioner to associate, professional, and specialty certifications. The experience levels are described here, but I want to point out there's no particular path that you have to take. There are paths that I would recommend, but back in 2018, AWS changed the requirements so that you don't have to take your cloud practitioner, then your solutions architect associate, and then get your solutions architect professional. If you wanted to go for your solutions architect professional right away, you could. I'd still recommend taking those associate level and professional level architecting and advanced architecting on AWS courses to get ready for that. But how does this relate to services paths and the tiers that we were talking about? When we think about select tier, there's a rule of 2. Lisa mentioned it earlier. So we need to get 2 technical and 2 business accreditations. We also need to have 2 individuals that have their cloud practitioner, and then 2 that have their associate certification or higher. That challenging part, the launched opportunities, that experience-based requirement for services path partners is to have 3 total launched opportunities that have a combined monthly recurring revenue of $1,500 and more. That could be accrued by one end customer with multiple opportunities that they have, or a variety of end customers that you have opportunities with. But being able to bring in those launched opportunities is key. So what does this look like when we're talking about our knowledge requirements and how a person and their accreditations and their certifications would stack up to meet these requirements? In this example, the person here has their business professional accreditation, their cloud practitioner, and their solutions architect associate. So all of these accreditations and certifications would count towards that select tier. This next person has a couple of technical certifications, 1 associate and 1 pro. Only 1 of your technical certifications, and usually the higher of the 2, will count towards your services path tier requirements. We'll expand this a little bit more and think about somebody that has their accreditation and they have a couple of different technical certifications as well. Remember, the higher of the 2 would count. In this case, the technical professional and the advanced networking specialty. And lastly, we've got somebody that's overly ambitious. They've got their business and technical accreditations, their cloud practitioner. They have their SysOps associate, which I'd recommend to get before you go and get your DevOps professional. When we look at that, and the best way to think about this is the statement that sums it up at the bottom. You as a person and your accreditations and your certifications will count once in each of these categories. So 1 accreditation of those 2 counts. Our foundational cloud practitioner counts. and then one of the technical certifications count. So that way that person counts one in each of those 3 different categories. When you're thinking about planning your journey into the select tier, it's good to have a plan like this that captures the personas of the type of people that work in your environment. Business professional accreditation should be a sales business persona. Technical professional, pre-sales technical. When we think about those associate or higher certifications, that could be pre-sales or delivery technical type personas. But this actually maps it out for you. So how many people do I need to be able to get to select? You're going to need 4 different employees. You'll need employee number 1 to work on their business professional accreditation. I also recommend that the employee is the one that works on their cloud practitioner. The same for employee number 3, those business professionals working for their, the salespeople working for their business professional accreditation, and then their cloud practitioner. Technical professional should be your pre-sales technical persona. That could be your employees numbers 2 and 4. They also work towards getting their associate or their solutions architect associate or anything higher. Could be specialty or pro. Associates are just what's recommended. The classes, those classes, the business accreditation and technical classes, those are free classes on the APN. Then the cloud practitioner essentials classes, we do run some good boot camps. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but boot camps that help you get some of these accreditations and help you study for your cloud practitioner essentials. Then there are fee-based classes for your associate level courses that you could take. These courses are offered at a discount through Ingram Micro, so you can work with us and we can get you more information about which classes you're interested in and the subsidies that are available for those classes. But what I would highly recommend is that you take this particular slide, print it out. Yeah, I'm saying print it out. You may have to kill a tree, but it's only one piece of paper, but print it out. Put people's names where you have who will take these exams. Start charting your course today to be able to achieve those knowledge requirements. So with that, that does wrap us up for the day. I'll have Jody come back in to see if we have any questions, but here's some links for references regarding podcast, following us LinkedIn, and on the public sector microsites and Ingram Micro public sector sites as well. Jody.
Thanks, Tad. I really appreciate that. We have had some questions in the past regarding really how do you get started with the Contracts Alliance program and who should they contact again? Lisa, can you just recap on that again?
Sure, I'll be happy to. So on the Contracts Alliance program, if you want to reach out to Heather Grimsley, she's on that. Actually, let me rephrase that. So depending what region you are in, we can connect you with our solution sales exec in that region, and then he can help walk you through what the Contracts Alliance program is and the contracts available. And then Heather Grimsley is our contracts administrator for the program, and we will get you connected with strategic communications and walk you through that process. So if you want to reach out to myself, I'm happy to get you connected with the sales rep in your region to get you started.
Great, thank you. And then the Accelerated Development Program is something new, and I was hoping that we could just recap on the time commitment a partner would have to go through that. I know that we talked about that it was a condensed program that Ingram Micro is offering, but what was the time commitment per week?
So when we look at that time commitment, like we said, it's taking that 18 to 24 month journey and condensing it down to roughly 4 to 6 months. But when we're talking about weeks that we're and where our time is valuable, usually that's going to be a 30-minute weekly or biweekly cadence that's set up with you and your accelerated development program manager. In addition to that, you'll probably have 1 to 2 workshops that you do or trainings that your accelerated development program manager will take you through as well. It's definitely much more spread out than some other programs that are there. And the idea is when we were talking about those milestones, when Lisa was talking about the software and the services milestones, is that we want to do our best to enable you through workshops and training to be able to hit those milestones and accomplish those things as quickly as possible.
Great. And this wasn't in the chat for a question, but I know I've been asked several times. Is it possible to fast track tier advancements?
So I mentioned it a little bit before. We do have boot camps that we run at Ingram throughout the world. We do have those boot camps. In fact, one is going to kick off on September 15th. So mark that on your calendar and we'll get more information to you shortly. But that particular boot camp will take you through the preparation that you need for cloud practitioner essentials and getting your cloud practitioner certification, starting with your business or technical accreditation, then going through the cloud economics accreditation. You'll be in a virtual instructor-led class by an AWS trainer on cloud practitioner essentials. And at each point during that 4-week course, you'll have a set of office hours and content reviews to be able to practice and quiz up on some of the skills that you've learned.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that joined us today. We had a nice brief session with Lisa and Ted Davis here with us from Ingram Micro Cloud. We have several resources here on the Connect With Us page. This deck will be sent out to you after the conclusion today, as well as the recording. So we appreciate your time and check us out on our microsite for more opportunities. Thank you so much.